Hi guys, Gogol1 back with another video. I've been scouring YouTube for the last few weeks or so, and I came across people who were doing their own collection of Batman memorabilia, their favourite Batman comics and all that type of stuff. And I really enjoyed what they were doing. I watched all the videos, and everyone was showing off all their stuff, and they were showing off some of the cool bits they got. And I decided, to return the favour, I'd do my own video, show some bits of I've managed to collect over the last 4 or 5 months, well, a couple of years maybe, but didn't really kick it up until about 2 or 3 months ago when I really started to look into collecting Batman memorabilia. Batman is he's my favourite comic book character. I really enjoy all the elements of Batman himself. I like the fact that he is just one man who's trained himself up to be this awesome crime fighter. The fact that he's doing it on his own, that's why I've never really liked Robin, is the fact that I was always very much, I believe in a lone man doing all this stuff. But the more people that get involved and know who he is, the less likely it is that his secret will stay a secret. So this is my collection. I absolutely thoroughly enjoy Batman. I've been looking all over online. I've been trying to get cheap bargains everywhere, primarily through eBay. Everyone knows it's the best place to go for all your collection needs. Also, there are certain times when I've looked at other people's collections and I've seen that they have things that I didn't even know were in existence. And until they pointed them out to me, a very typical example of that was a Blu-ray version of The Dark Knight. They had a Batpod edition, which is just like they had a figurine of the Batpod with the DVD underneath it. A bit like the Dark Knight Rises one where you had the broken cowl. I never even knew that was actually a thing. So I've been online looking for that. I think that would be great, as I have the Dark Knight Rises one. So I'm going to pull out some of my favourite pieces and show you. I'll then go over to the cabinet and show you what I've got in the cabinets, and we'll go from there. I hope you enjoy. Okay, first things first, the Blu-rays. It started for me back in 1989 when Tim Burton made the first Batman movie. I was born in 1980, and they'd brought out the reruns of the '66 Batman on the TV, and I watched them, and I thought they were okay, but it didn't fully click for me that this is what Batman was. This is how awesome this character is, because obviously it was quite child friendly, it was quite family orientated, it was very cheesy. Even back in the 60s they were watching it going, wow, this is some cheesy fun shit. So I understood that what I was watching was a real tongue-in-cheek. I loved certain elements of it. I loved the fact that he'd flip the head in the statue and flick the button, and then the library case would move and he'd go sliding down a pole into the Batcave. Brilliant. The red phone to Commissioner Gordon would phone him and say, hi Batman, we need you now. We've gone through all these films, and the most sensible way of contacting Batman through the years has been in the '66 one, where someone just picked up a phone and said, hello Batman, can you come and help us? The rest of the time it's been very elaborate, very difficult for them to get hold of him. '89 Batman came and I was just in awe. This was so awesome. You had Jack Nicholson and you had Michael Keaton in the main roles, and I'd already seen Beetlejuice, so I was knocked back by the fact that Beetlejuice was now Batman, and it was a completely different character. And I couldn't explain what I thought at the time. Obviously, as I've grown up and I've learned reiterations of Batman and the real character of Batman through the comic books and things like that, you see certain flaws in the original '89 Batman. I'm not going to go into those now. If you really want to go into it, I suggest you go watch Kevin Smith's DVD audio commentary of Batman, the '89 original. I think you can get it on YouTube. I think you can find it there. You can also get it on his podcasts, Fat Man on Batman. it was starring there that he actually sat down and he went through the film, and like he talked about the logo first appearing at the start and then him turning up and who are you, I'm Batman, and all that type of stuff. And it started out so promising, and then by the end it kind of got away from itself a little bit, and it became far less of a Batman and more of a rich guy with gadgets who just stood there sometimes and scowled. And it, again, I'm not going to go into the details, but there are some flaws in it. But at the time I was 9 years old, so this film just knocked me over with a hook. And this guy with the gadgets, and where does he get these wonderful toys? The whole thing, the tone, the dark noir tone to it. God, I just wanted to live in Gotham looking at the scenery, and it was an absolutely fantastic film. Then they brought out Batman Returns, and it was far more Burton centric than the first Batman film. Obviously they'd got him back to do the next one, and they kind of plied the studio, and they tried to wedge as many characters as they could in there. And again, there's some serious holes you can pick in that. Again, just watch Kevin Smith. He says everything you need to know. But they're still great films. It's great nostalgia for me. I even watch them now from time to time. 89 Michael Keaton's Batman will always be my Batman. No matter what iteration comes forward, there will always be my love of Keaton's Batman. I think my first ever VHS videotape was Batman Returns. When I was about, I couldn't tell you now, 14, 15 maybe. I got given a VHS video player for my Christmas. It was a second-hand one that my brother-in-law had decided he wanted to get rid of, and I got it. And it was in my room, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. The first videotape I went out and bought by myself when I had a little bit of cash from my part-time job was Batman Returns. It was in a bargain bin, a Crazy Eddie's bargain bin and newsagents, for $4.99, and it wasn't that old at the time. I think it had been out for maybe a year and a half, something like that. I mean, I was astounded by how quick this price had dropped on this videotape. So I bought it, and I played this thing on repeat. I absolutely loved Batman Returns. It was my first ever videotape that I owned for myself and kept in my room. Subsequently after that, I got into manga and anime, and my video collection blew apart exponentially to the point where I think one of my cupboards nearly fell off the wall because I had so many videotapes jammed into it from the local comic shop. But anyway, so the films are where it all starts, and over the years I've watched many iterations, and I do love the Dark Knight trilogy as great crime sagas, as great crime thrillers. They're brilliant. Again, no iteration of Batman is perfect. You're always going to find holes in it, so you're probably better off just sitting down, switching your brain off, and just enjoying what you're seeing, if you can. I obviously decided I was going to start collecting bits and bobs, so when the Batman Begins came out, I got the Blu-ray, and I managed to get the Lanyard 3D postcard collection box set. It wasn't available in many places. I can't remember where. I think HMV got it in the UK, so I went in there and I bought it. And Batman Begins is one of those films that I really love, but it's really good up until about the last 20 minutes, 25 minutes, because I loved watching Batman evolve. They pulled apart all the little bits he needed to do, ordering his masks from one company, the ears from another, and so no one got any suspicious. And it was an absolutely fantastic way of breaking down the character and going into detail. It was pure nerdgasm just watching him build up this character, and find this tumbler, the cave diving or the bridge making vehicle, all-terrain vehicle and stuff. And when I first saw the tumbler, I hated the damn thing. I was like, that's not the Batmobile. I was Keaton's, Burton's 89 Batman Batmobile was the Batmobile to me. But as time grew on and I thought about it, I was just like, that is an absolutely perfect machine for Batman. You know, this all-terrain vehicle that can move around so easily, you know, run across rooftops and things. It was just boom, you know. I grew to love it, and I grew to appreciate it for the thought that went into it and the work that went into all of it, and the fact that it was a real physical thing. They didn't phone it in. It wasn't a CGI vehicle. These vehicles worked. You put them in. Again, they had different versions of it. They had a tumbler that jumped. They had a tumbler that drove along the road. They had a tumbler that managed to do spins and things like that. And that's fine, but you know, it was still a real physical vehicle. And then they brought out the Dark Knight, which, you know, it just blew up. Everybody was suddenly like, my God. Honestly, people slightly freaked out a little bit because they were like, there's a lot of daytime in this movie, and it wasn't until they actually watched the whole film. And I love the movie, but it is one long speech about the human condition away from being pretentious. It really is. It's so close to just going over the top and swallowing itself whole. But God bless Christopher Nolan, he managed to hold it all together and just keep it as a decent film without it just going a bit too far. Obviously, then The Dark Knight Rises came out. It's one of my favourite movie posters of all time. It is the poster of Bane walking away in the rain with Batman's cowl broken on the floor behind him. When I saw that, before the movie was released, when I saw that, I was like, oh, wow, that's an awesome poster. It's a bit cliched, but I know I'm going to end up with a framed version of that at some point. But later on, they released the Dark Knight trilogy altogether, you know, all 3 films, and it came with 3 little miniature die-cast vehicles of the Batpod, the Bat, and the Tumbler, all 3 of them together, and also had a certificate of authenticity and a great book on the making of, and loads of prints inside showing different parts of the movie making process. It's a really good box set, the Dark Knight Trilogy Ultimate Collector's Edition. It really is one of those ones that when I got it, I was so chuffed. I didn't mind that I'd already had the films. I just wanted the other bits inside, and it's a great collection. It's a great item. So I think I've waffled on enough about the DVDs and Blu-rays. I'm going to move on now to my actual figures and figurines. When I started with my collection, it wasn't actually originally a Batman collection. What I was doing was I was going through and collected, or tried to collect, some of the best video game box sets that you could get. And one of the things I got with my video game box set was the Injustice American PS3 version, collector's edition, and this statue came in it. I was tempted to get the original British version, which is Wonder Woman fighting Batman with a sword, but for some strange reason I thought this is a little bit more rarer, this is a little bit more hard to get, so I wanted to get the better version. And also I really like the fact that it's got a mix of 3 different elements in it. First, you've got Batman in it. Next thing you've got is Wonder Woman, and the third thing you've got is Superman's baby carrier that took him from Krypton to Earth, and she's about to beat the living shit out of Batman with it. I absolutely love this statue. It's great. It's a little bit lighter than I would have liked. It's slightly more plastic around the base. Don't know if you can hear that. It's a little bit more plastic around the base. The smoke is all very hard plastic. I like the fact that there's a purpose to it, and the fact that Batman and Wonder Woman are throwing down. There's actually a use for it. Okay, next up is the Arkham Origins Collector's Edition statue you got with the game. This is the UK version. It's quite detailed. Obviously, it's got Joker in it, so a lot of people love that. Everyone loves a face-off between Batman and Joker. You can put this on the end of your shelf, and it looks like Batman's hanging Joker off the edge of your shelf, which is fantastic. One of the other little bugbears I've got is that Batman is not really looking at the Joker. You can actually, I don't know if you can see it here, I'll try and bring it forward, but he's actually looking forlornly over his shoulder, like it's just another day at the office. It's a minor detail though, because when you actually got it the right way round with the logo in front of Arkham Origins down here, you don't really see that. You know, it just looks like Batman's holding Joker up and Joker's being quite animated and over the top as usual. This is the New 52 Kota Bukaya Batman statue. I bought this on, I think it was eBay. The box was damaged and it was quite a cheap option. And I was just like, well, you know, I've got 3. I'd like to get this new version of Batman as well, because I was really enjoying the New 52 comics. The Court of Owls was a fantastic addition to the Batman canon, in my opinion. So I had a look online and I saw this Kota Bukaya New 52, and it was fantastic. I absolutely loved the artwork, the painting work on it. The sculpt itself was brilliant. Batman's face he looks a lot younger. I'm sure this is not just stuck to Japanese Batman figures. I'm sure there's a lot more, but you know, the Japanese, when they design things, they tend to use a lot of youthful imagery of people like the superheroes, and as you can see in this one here, his face is a lot younger than we've previously seen him. But there is some great detail in this statue. You can actually see the webbing underneath his armour there. The reflective suit is really great. It's a really good addition to any collection. I was just like, it really does break up the usual grey and black with a silver and black issue. It's absolutely great. Yeah, and once I bought this guy, it wasn't very long before I think the bug hit me. But the next one was when I was just like in absolute awe of some of the stuff that's out there, so I'll bring that now. This is the Play Arts Kai variant Batman figure. These were all based on the I think it was the Arkham Asylum, Arkham City series of video games. Obviously, you know, I really liked the games. I absolutely loved the games. So this was really interesting to me. And when I saw this item itself, you know, obviously, I've mentioned previously that, you know, when I was younger, I was into manga and anime, and they seem to have taken elements of things like Guyver and merged them with Batman, and just made this absolutely astoundingly over the top samurai Batman figure, cyber samurai Batman figure. When I saw it, I just had to buy it. There was no other option for me. It was just quite literally find it, buy it, get it straight away. And I was really shocked to find out it was actually quite available in abundance. I was really shocked. So I went online, purchased this, and it really was when it really kicked up. I was just like, wow, I'm really going to Google loads more figurines and characters and get some more. What I'm going to do now is I'm not going to just pull out every single individual one. I started collecting the Play Arts Kai Batman figures, so I'm just going to put them all here for you to have a look at, and we'll get on with it. So here is my Play Arts Kai Batman figurine collection. Like I said, he really was the straw that broke the donkey's back in terms of how obsessive I would get and start collecting. I don't know why, but I absolutely loved it. And as soon as I got him, I was like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to get the other ones. And the next one I bought was the Arkham Asylum Armoured Edition Batman over in the right hand corner here. When I got him, he was broken into pieces from the eBay seller. I don't know why. I think it must have been a shipping problem. So when I spoke to the eBay seller, he came back and refunded me my money and just told me to keep the figure. I've managed to put him back together as best I can. He's fairly stable. He's still not great, but he looks the part inside my cabinet. So you know, I can't really complain for a free item, to be honest. Next one up was the Arkham Asylum Batman. I've got him holding a batarang in a nice stylish pose. He was necessary. He's okay. He's not great. He's not my favourite, that's for sure. Then I got the 1970s style Batman skin. These are all part of the Arkham Asylum video game series, but this one over in the left hand corner here is the 1970s skin. I quite like him. He's got a bit more colour to him. He's a bit brighter. He looks better in the cabinet next to all the others. Because the thing about the Play Art Sky ones are they can be a little dark looking, slightly greyish. When you put them all together, they can muddle up a little bit. You've got your Dark Knight Returns iteration of Batman over in the back there. Far more chunkier looking than the others. Obviously, he's heavy set, designed like Frank Miller's image of him. Again, he's still very much the Arkham Asylum series style, but yeah, he's definitely one of my favourites, and he is quite a weight to him as well. But this is my favourite one over in the corner. It's the Batman Arkham Origins. He's the newest one, and he's also one of my favourites. As I said previously, I absolutely love the Arkham Origins Batman design, but I genuinely love the sort of younger Batman with the thicker armour on him. It looks to me, with that armour on, that he can stop a bullet. It really does. There are other iterations like this one here where it just looks like Batman just gets shot in the face and die in about a second. But in that one, it genuinely looks like he could really handle himself. The only reason I've put it on a stand is there wasn't enough room to put them all in action poses in the cabinet itself. So in order to save space and not take up too much area, you know, the capes on these are very thick plastic and they can weigh a lot. And the problem with that is that they can pull the figure down and it can fall backwards quite a lot. But so I've just put him on a stand just so he can fit in without having to really get him, you know, posed in a really wide-legged stance like the Arkham Armor one over here. Also, just a quick one, I don't think I had the Dark Knight version in my Play Art Sky collection I showed you earlier, so this is actually the Play Art Sky Dark Knight version with the Hot Toys sticky bomb gun. Doesn't fully fit as comfortably as I'd liked into his hands, but still it's a great accessory. I've even jammed one of the batarangs into his belt just to make him look like he's getting busy. Okay guys, here is one of my all-time favourite items in my collection. It is the Batman Armory. A lot of people will have seen this, or a lot of people would have seen the Hot Toys version of the Batman Armory. This is not it, unfortunately. This is the Toy Legends version, which is about roughly about £100 to £150 cheaper than the Hot Toys version. It's a slightly bigger version as well. It's not as compact, but I absolutely love this piece. I couldn't honestly tell you why. Maybe it's because of all the extra little bit of gadgets in it, but maybe it's because of the really quirky suit on it, the perfect lighting. It all looks great in a display cabinet, but I absolutely loved all the little nuances to it, all the little bits. There's so much detail in it, and even though it's not a Hot Toys version, what I did was I went online and I purchased some of the extra Hot Toys accessories that you can get for the Armory, and I've put bits of those in there. I've replaced certain bits and added extra parts. As you can see, there is loads of sticky bomb guns hanging off the racks. There's quite a few there simply because of there being extras in the Hot Toys accessories pack I bought. Extra belts, extra communicators. I think that's the grapple gun there. Just two of those hanging off. Those are the Hot Toys versions. What really astounded me about the Hot Toys detail is you know, that even the Hot Toys guns actually have moving parts and things like that, which is absolutely amazing. I'll try and show you this item. It just even, you know, you can load this up, and some of the actual sticky bomb guns actually extend and reduce down, and I even had enough of one left over so that I could in actual fact have my Play Art Sky Dark Knight figure carry one as well, which didn't come with the figure, by the way. I didn't mention that, but he doesn't have the sticky bomb gun in the actual figure set for Playouts Kai, but I gave it to him from this set because I had a few extras stay over. This is one of the packs that the items come in. As you can see, some items like the grapple rope there doesn't actually fit into this Toy Legends version. The Toy Legends version is a bit too big, and this one's a little bit more smaller. But these are the nunchucks from the original one, which had the Toy Legends one. It's the nunchuckers actually have a long metal bit of wire holding it together, so it doesn't look that great. Whereas the Hot Toys one at the back over here actually has a chain attached to it, and it actually looks like a real working pair of nunchuckers. It's some minor details like that that really makes the Hot Toys version stand out from this Toy Legends version. But in terms of a display case, this is absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love the item, and I could always search online and get some extra accessories from the Hot Toys version if I so wish. But as it is, it's fully loaded. It looks really good. I have no complaints, and the detail is still very, very good on it. For £100 less, it's more than I deserve. So yeah, that is one of my all-time favourite pieces, is this Dark Knight Armory. Okay guys, to get things motoring along a little bit, I'm just going to go through my cabinets now and show you the items I've got inside. I'll give you a little bit of a talk about them, but obviously you've seen the Playouts Kai figurine collection already. So let's move down to the next shelf and I'll show you a few bits in there. Okay, obviously you've seen a few bits already. You've obviously seen the Arkham Origins Joker and Batman. This is a model that I painted and put together myself, a vinyl model of the Batman Returns, Michael Keaton style. Self-painted, obviously. What I'll do is I'm going to go through and do a quick video on all the models that I've painted, just so it's a lot easier for you to digest. And you know, obviously you don't have to watch it if you don't want to, but this is just a few more items. This is I think this is a Kiyasayama figurine here of Batman sort of fumbling down a flight of stairs. Again, I like them when there's some action to them, when there's some movement or there's a scene. You know, these are my favourite items. This is a Batman figure, the 0 year Batman, I believe, with his purple gloves. He's obviously got his gun there and he's just about to pull it out. I sort of gave him a bit of a cowboy stance. I quite like the idea of him actually, like I said, getting to be doing something. This is a Batman bust that I painted myself. I'll go down into a bit more detail about that later on in another video. And this is one of my favourites, the Thrasher suit Batman. I really, really like the Thrasher suit Batman. I love the Court of Owls story, and I really enjoyed it when Batman bursts out of his cave and, you know, goes to town on them with this thing. It's a brilliant scene, and you know, one day hopefully maybe they'll actually do an animated film of it. Another one thing I'd like is the animated Batman films. I think they're brilliant. There's my Injustice statue, and there's a Batman Forever. I'm not a big fan of the Schumacher Batman, as quite rightly I shouldn't be, but I got this model here, vinyl model, and it was all painted black, and it just looked ridiculous. So I went in there and I did some detail to the face and repainted the whole thing to give him a bit more depth. The silver metallic blue is simply because I just wanted something different to look at in the cabinet. You know, if the Val Kilmer Batman's going to be a numpty like he was, then he might as well look like one properly. So I painted him in a bright metallic blue with a silver thing, just to change it up a little bit, and with the proper lighting it does look quite cool. It's a New Frontier Batman figure. It's got a great little base there. It's a good display item. This is another Japanese style figurine where he's sort of, again, I don't know why they like him, look like he's fumbling away there up a staircase. But yeah, this I really like this one. Not a big fan of the paintwork on the fire though. It's just like a purple or an orange blob, sorry. But the actual detail in the Batman figure itself is really good. This is a Killer Kit statue I bought and painted myself. It's Batman kneeling by the graveside of his parents. This was a paint job I did myself. I'm quite proud of that one. Really enjoyed it. This is I believe this is a Japanese import again. This is a more stylized blue and grey Batman. He loves standing on gargoyles. It's a gargoyle thing. Okay, here we got Gotham by Gaslight Batman. I haven't taken him out of his packaging simply because it's not cheap, and it wasn't cheap, and it was quite a difficult one to get hold of, and I wasn't going to rip him out of his packaging and then, just have the whole thing slightly decrease in value, because it is an item I'm going to hold on to for a very long time, and I think it'll be worth something. Here is the Warner Brothers statue from Batman Forever. Again, it's a Val Kilmer one. It wasn't very nice. It was absolutely terrible statue. It was just all black with no detail in it, and the face was just a terrible, just plain flat flesh. There was no detail in it whatsoever, and the eyes were just black dots in the middle of white, and I just didn't really like it. So I went to town on it. I repainted it. I gave him a black and red version just to change it up a little bit. As you can see, if you get in real close, hopefully you can see some of the detail in the face. It's not the best paint job I've ever done, to be honest, but it was one of the ones that I'd first tried out. It works really well. It looks great in the cabinet, and it does change things up a little bit, and add a bit more colour to an otherwise grey and black display case. This was one of the, I think this is a homage to the black and white statue Batmans. It's not an official one. You can see the logo's too small. Normally they fill the whole base, but again, it's a really cool different version of Batman that I got, and I'm quite chuffed I got him. He just really breaks things up a little bit. It's a good reiteration, quite cartoony. This is an item I got. This is Batman the Animated Series. When I bought this online, it was a blurry photo on eBay. It was cheap for a few pound, I think, and I decided to take a chance on it. And when I bought it, it was absolutely disgusting. The whole thing was sticky. Christ knows how it got sticky. It stank of mould. The paintwork was atrocious. It was all faded, and it's quite soft and flexible. It looked like a dog's chew toy. It's definitely It definitely has seen better days. So I went to town on it. I cleaned it all up. I ran into detail. All these dollar signs had faded off, and I went in and tried to repaint them as best I could. Yellow is a very difficult item paint to get right, especially in acrylics. They're very transparent. Penguin, I tried to put more detail on him, put detail into the buttons on his trousers. I really went to town on that one. I'll go into more detail on that later. But that is one of the triumphs of my collection, simply because, again, it looked like dog turd, and I managed to salvage it just enough so that even in a cabinet with the door closed, it still looks fairly substantial. It's just a cheap toy, but it does work quite well in a way. This is another vinyl model I painted. I managed to bought a stand for him from I think it was from one of those Warhammer games, and I've placed him on that, which is a cracked pavement. I've done better paint jobs. The airbrushing wasn't so great. I can't remember why, but the thing wouldn't work properly at the time. But managed to put some detail on his face, a lot more than he had when he deserved anyway. But yeah, I'll go into more detail about him later, but that's another one. Here are some miniatures I've got. Batman Returns little plastic miniature. These are all just cheap things I got online. This is the original toy I had as a child from the first Batman film. My brother got me this on eBay. It's not my official one. Obviously, you can't. The logo's faded off. It's not there anymore. But it was really nice of him to go out and he said, "Yeah, I've got a surprise for you," and he got me that one, and I was quite chuffed. It was really nice. And also, here's the Batpod, the Bat, and the Tumbler from my Ultimate Collector's Edition Dark Knight Trilogy Blu-ray set. That's really good. This is I believe this is a Jim Lee variant of a figure. I'm not even sure. I bought this on eBay and it came with that stand. I don't even know if it's meant to come with that stand, but it came with that stand anyway, and it's a really great figure. This is just a little miniature Dark Knight figurine I bought. If it's got a stand, I'll buy it, I think. A classic Batman. Like I said, I'm not a massive fan of the 66 Batman, but obviously this is a quite hark back to the original Bob Kane stuff, so it was worth getting just for that. Batman Beyond, never watched that cartoon, but again, it's a nice variation on the Batman theme itself. Another eBay job. Here we go, a little miniature Jim Lee statue there of him standing on a gargoyle. Big surprise. It's one of my favourites. I thought this was bigger than when I ordered it online. Then when I got this miniature, I was like, oh, okay, it wasn't the bargain I thought it was, but it's still great. Dark Knight model. Several parts are repainted on him, including his mouthpiece, because that's detachable, and I just took that off and repainted it. I'll go into detail with the paint jobs later. Just another little miniature Batman bust. It's very nice. I can't exactly remember where this came from. Let me just have a quick look. The Batman mini bust, it was by DC Direct, yeah. But again, I like the variant of that. It's the blue and grey as opposed to black and grey. A lot of it is. And there's my armory at the back. You beautiful, beautiful thing. Moving up, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the villains, but this is the Arkham Origins US edition figurine of the Joker standing in his lair with all the TVs behind him. The TVs light up. I can't be bothered to pull it all out and show it for you. But yeah, again, I quite like this one. I'm not a big, like I said, not a big fan of the villains, but I quite like that one. Okay, here we go to the show, the figurines. Okay, we got in the front there, we've got the Injustice on the left, and behind him we've got the Hush. I believe it's the Skydive Batman, I think, where he's jumping out of a plane. He rescues someone. Behind him you've got the New 52. Behind that I believe you've got the Earth 2 Batman. And behind him you've got a self-painted Arkham Asylum Armoured Edition Batman. Down the back there, I can't remember where he's from at the moment. I'll have to do the research on him. But then you've got Dark Knight Returns. You've then got Justice League of America. You've then got the Son of Batman finger. Then you've got the first iteration of the Dark Knight there in Batman Begins before he actually decides to become Batman. And of course, one of my favourites is this Infinite Crisis Batman. Again, like I said, he looks like all the others are very much in their grey suits. They look like they're just standing there scowling, whereas he looks like he's just come from an absolute epic battle. All his shirt's torn, he's absolutely raging, you can see it in his face, he's not very happy. So he's either just kicked the living hell out of someone, or he's on his way to do so, which is great. It just pulls, it just comes straight from the comic book. It's like they pulled the character from the comic book and made a 3D representation of him from that exact shot. It's brilliant. I absolutely love that. Okay, here's the New 52 Justice League. This isn't all of them, obviously. This is all I could fit in the cabinet. But obviously, New 52 Batman. And then I decided to get Superman, the Flash, and the Green Lantern behind him. One of the things that I did in order to save money was, again, I'm more interested in Batman. I'm not a massive Justice League fan. I like them, but I'm not a massive fan of them. So it just, because I wanted to have him next to a few others, I got these ones online, and I don't think they're the official versions. I believe they're homages, shall we say, to the originals, knockoffs. Yeah, but obviously they work well in the cabinet, and they look absolutely fine as they are from there. It's Catwoman. I believe that's the only Catwoman picture I got. I really do want the Batman Catwoman Hush statue where they're kissing. I think that's an absolutely brilliant statue. And a Warner Brothers statue at the back there, very tall, big base. There's not much detail in him, to be honest, though, but he is a really, really nicely made, solid design Batman. One of the only Mattel figures I've got actually is this Batman. It's got all these gadgets down the front there. It's got a Bat logo stand for him to stand on, nice and big, and it's very cool. It's very plastic fantastic, but it does have some really good moments in it. The Bat belts open up, as you can see, and there's some bits and bobs in there, some detail inside, and of course you've got an extendable grapple hook that shrinks back down. Again, I'm not a big fan of the Mattel stuff. It's it's for kids, but as it should be. But this was a really great one I've got. Also of note, this is my 1/4 NECA scale version of Michael Keaton's Batman. This is the piece de resistance. This is one of my favourites in my collection entirely. I really enjoy the films, and obviously this is an amazing representation of Michael Keaton. It just looks just like him. The paintwork is so detailed. It's great. You can even see the stubble on his face. His Bat logo, the original Bat logo from the film, as opposed to the refixed one from Warner Brothers when the film actually came out. I mean, I love the Warner Brothers logo, the actual one. I think it's one of the best pieces of marketing they could have done. As soon as you see that logo, it's Batman. There's no fail in it. He's got a fantastic all leather looking cape. It's not really leather, but it does look quite leathery. Full on black armor with rubbery armor. It comes along. There's also other accessories and hands, but the detail in this item is absolutely astounding. I even put him on a little diorama here so that he can look like he's actually standing near one of the rooftops or something like that. That's just very amateur work, but it was all I could do at the time with the equipment I had. But that is my 1/4 NECA scale Batman. If you want to go into more detail, then just go on YouTube, and there's 100 of these on there, people talking about them and going into detail about their articulation and things like that, and breaking them down. But yeah, that's him. That's one of my favourites. Thanks. Okay, and there's only 2 more left. This is a Batman statue I got from the Killer Kits website. It comes unpainted, so I've had to do my own paint job on it, which is good because it slowed me down a little bit. But this is just Batman standing on a large chunk of Arkham Asylum's gate. It's a fantastic statue. I had to do a little bit of work. I did a little bit of modifications to the cape here and stuff. I can go into detail when I go into the painted section of the videos. But obviously that's one of my favourites now, simply because I put the hard work in and I got a really good item out of it. But also at the same time, it's a quality piece in its own right that was well designed. And last but not least, this Dark Knight Returns bust. I think it's a 1/3 version of Dark Knight Returns. It came unpainted. I had to do the job myself. It's supposed to come with a stand, but unfortunately I didn't get the stand, so I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get it. But for the moment, he's just sitting on a box until I can actually get some sort of decent image of him. But again, there's several ones that I bought, and what I'll go into in a separate video is Batman on a budget. I'm going to go into, if you want to get some figurines and stuff, where best to get some where it's not going to break the bank, and how best to get a quality sort of collection without it costing you the earth. I mean, we've all got mortgages, we've all got bills, we've all got to pay the rent or whatever, we just need to, sometimes be a bit more savvy. So I'll go into a separate video on that. But yeah, that's it. That is the entire collection of my Batman figurines so far. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you like this, please like, share, comment, anything you like. If you've got others you want to do, put a comment in the thing and put your video link on my thing so I can see them. I love seeing other people's collection. Thanks for watching. go out, watch some more videos. Hopefully you'll get a collection soon, build it up, stick a video on YouTube, share it with us. You know, more all about looking at these things and really enjoying everybody else's stuff. I'm not in competition with anyone, I just want to see good things. So yeah, that's it for now. Like, subscribe, comment, anything you like, share on Twitter, share on YouTube, share on Facebook, wherever you like to do it. I'd really appreciate some helpful comments. I know I'm a bit gonzo with my style. Maybe I blabber on a bit too much. Tell me, let me know. But thanks for watching, and I appreciate you getting to the end of it. Cheers.